Hello everybody, my name is CoreyAction. Today I'm here. I just wanted to make a discussion video because I had a lot on my mind, and I didn't just finish watching the show that I'm about to say, but I watched it yesterday, and I am just so satisfied of how everything have ended. There's no question about it. Um, the show that I'm referring to is Arrow. Season 8, Episode 10, the season finale and the series finale, and it was very bittersweet. And wow, I'm thoroughly happy that I was able to experience the 8 years of watching Arrow, and I could really say 9 years, but it's really 8 because Arrow came out since 2012. Although I could really go as far as saying 7, to be honest, because I didn't really watch Arrow until a year after. I watched it in 2013. I know Arrow, the first season of Arrow came on 2012, but I was just now getting with the program, and I was like, okay, because I heard that another CW show at the time, The Flash, was going to come on national television. I was like, okay, The Flash is like one of my favorite superheroes of all time, but I wouldn't be able to understand how Barry gets there and that without me watching the Arrow, because originally Grant Gustin, he was on a bunch of Arrow episodes way before he even had his own TV show, The Flash. So long story short, I'm just very happy that everything is concluded. I'm just satisfied. There's no cliffhangers whatsoever. You cannot the episode that you watch called Fade Out. That episode in particular, it shouldn't really have you questioning, oh, what happened to that character, or what happened to her character. No, it was able to feel like everybody's character. It was able to give it gave us a hopeful ending, and it's a very more of a peaceful, and it was more something that you can look forward to in various characters' perspective. For a good example, we was finally, oh my, you know how many people was asking for this? Do you not know how many people was asking for this? We was at long last, we got John with the Green Lantern ring. We finally got it. Each and every one of you from day one, you could just give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself a round of applause right now, because we was actually towards the end of the while the episode was in its conclusion. Oh, I really should have made a reaction to that, because I fell off of my seat. My mother thought I passed out. I was like, because I was just starstruck, because who would have thought in a million years, towards the same reaction as Ezra Miller being on the crossover, the episode 4 of the Crisis on Infinite Earth. It's like the same reaction that I had. Too bad you didn't see it, but I had the exact same reaction, except this was more of a satisfying rather than a surprising, because this is something that we all wanted. The question was ultimately if the CW was going to pull it off. And it makes so much sense that they was even able to pull it off, because of the crossover, the fact that Oliver even sacrificed himself for the greater good. New universe where a bunch of superheroes such as Black Lightning, Supergirl, Batwoman, Flash, Martian Manhunter. Really, I could just say Supergirl, because Martian Manhunter was already in that Earth, Kara's Earth. But all of those heroes that I've just listed are in one Earth. They're all together, and it's called Earth Prime. And because of that, we was introduced to the Lantern Corps. Oh man, it makes so much sense in a way. I could go on and on. In fact, I can put this all into an hour video right now. Oh man, all I can really say is that I'm just so happy that they was finally able to do it. Even though unfortunately Oliver's Queen storyline and that John Diggle could continue on that legacy. Not even John Diggle, really Mia Smoke, because she would be the next Green Arrow in the future, that is. But John Diggle, he can definitely continue on doing what he's doing. In fact, he can do something much more greater. And the fact that they even introduced Metropolis. We all knew that Superman was in this Earth too, but the fact that Metropolis is confirmed in this Earth. I mean, it was quite obvious, but I just had to say just to say it. I'm gonna be jumping everywhere, so please, by all means, I hope that you're able to catch up, because I just watched Black Lightning yesterday too. Even though it didn't air yesterday on a Tuesday, but I watched it on the CW app, which is something that you should download, by the way. It's very convenient to those who actually missed the show, who unfortunately wasn't able to go home and watch it in their comfortable chairs or couch or whatever you sit on or lie down on. Whoever missed it, you could always watch it on the CW app. I'm pretty sure you're aware of it, but like I said, the CW app just came in a clutch, because when I said I wanted to watch Black Lightning, I really wanted to watch the next episode of Black Lightning. I knew that the chapter 1 of Markovian War, I knew if that was interesting, I knew like the next episode was going to be interesting. I unfortunately missed it because it came on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it came on Monday. I ended up watching it on Tuesday. I was able to kill two birds in one stone, because not only did I watch a new episode of Black Lightning, but I was also able to watch a new episode in the last episode of Arrow. And so many stuff happened in Black Lightning. Oh, I don't even know where I began. First and foremost, like I said before, I'm gonna be jumping from scene to scene. I'm not gonna try to do I'm not even gonna try to do everything in chronological order, because if I do that, I'm just gonna end up confusing myself. So whatever's on my mind, whatever I'm about to say, I'm gonna say it, and hopefully I could probably piggyback on what I said, but that'll be that. Let's talk about the fact that Jennifer saw Khalil ever since we all saw that Khalil is working with Agent Odell, except he's not intentionally working with Agent Odell. Agent Odell have a chip in his neck or a chip in his brain to where he controls every single thing that Agent Odell is telling him to do. For example, unfortunately, Agent Odell told Khalil to kill his own mother. Yes, that still happened. I don't think that has been restored ever since the new universe ever since that Crisis on Infinite Earth happened. And I actually thought, I know a lot of reactors and a lot of spectators and a lot of people that watch Black Lightning, they probably thought the same thing. But here I am speaking it now, I'm putting it out in the air. I honestly thought that being that this will be a new reality where a bunch of things change, and that showed that a lot of things change in Arrow, which I'll get to later. Because I thought that, okay, since that happened, since we getting new characters, since a lot of people that died in a different reality is being brought back to life, I thought that Khalil's mother would be alive. But no, everything is still the same. In fact, it just gotten worse in Black Lightning. Let's talk about the fact that Nissa's attitude towards her father is just straight up, it's rude, really. I mean, yes, I get where she's coming from. She wants her father to rely on her. She wants Jefferson to see her as a leader, and she wants her to, and Anissa wants Jefferson to see her as a person who she can trust, he can trust, and etc. Whatever the case may be. But you put on the Thunder costume, not the Blackbird or whatever name that she's going with now. Now let's talk about the fact that Jennifer. Yeah, I'm seeing, like, notice how I'm jumping towards everywhere. But let's talk about the fact that Jennifer, for the first time, sees Khalil. And remind you, he's supposed to be dead, except he's not dead. Lady Eve was supposed to be dead, but she's not dead. In fact, she was in that episode that I'm talking about. And Jennifer is just lashing out on Jefferson, Black Lightning, because she wasn't within the plan of capturing Agent Odell. And Jennifer is mad at Anissa for keeping all of this to herself, because the fact of the matter is, Anissa knew about Khalil. She knew about Khalil, and I think there was a part of that episode before the crisis where she wanted to tell. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Lynn Lynn knew. She knew that Khalil was dangerous and whatever the case may be. And I think she told Nissa, and Nissa was like, we should tell. Even Gambi, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was like, no, we need to tell Jennifer or whatever. I think, because you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody's even in the comic section. And Lynn was like, don't know, you're not gonna tell her or whatever. I just really, I hate that. I don't really like that type of cliche. And the reason why I don't like that cliche because, oh, you knew this for a long time, you didn't bother telling me. You don't even understand the beginning. I wanted to tell you all along, but there's so many circumstances. And this is how you would, and this is exactly how you would react when you do at long last tell a person whatever you didn't tell that person. And you got to think about, and I have to think about this as well. Would Jennifer's reaction still would be the same? Because she did jeopardize the mission. The mission was to capture Odell, which they did, but Jennifer wasn't aware of it until after she tracked Odell, and then she got mad. So I have to keep in mind that even if they did told Jennifer about Khalil being this and that, would the results be the same? Would her head would be in the game or what? I honestly wouldn't know. Give me a second. I honestly wouldn't know, and I guess we would never know. But this is Black Lightning we're talking about. They always say, oh, "I won't forgive you," or it's always everybody's always against secrecy. If I'm even pronouncing that right or saying it right, but they're always against that. Like for example, when Jennifer figured out that her father was Black Lightning, she didn't like that. Or maybe she was okay with it, but she didn't like the idea that she probably has powers of her own. And it will probably make sense now. She's adding two and two together, and she didn't like that. She wanted to be a normal person, but it was not until later on in season 2 that she accepted that she has powers and she can use it for good. But long story short, that episode, and let's talk about the fact that Tobias was trying to sucker punch Lynn because he felt that Lynn wasn't as smart as he once thought. But she was smart enough to give herself powers so that she could protect herself in case something like that Tobias did to her. But then they both got tased. Him and the person that wanted to help Lynn. They both got tased. Like, dang. Like, come on now. You gotta really check your surroundings. Like, are you seriously? I'm like, Lynn, how many doses did you take? Like, you claim that those medicines that you be intaking, that you be injecting yourself, that you be swallowing orally, you think that be making you smarter. But don't you think that would have been more smart if you just still be in your cloak form, in that camouflage form? That way they don't see you. Like, come on. Always check your surroundings, even in the hottest moments, because you don't know who's lurking, who's watching. But I don't even think that's. I can't even go as far as saying that's like a plot hole right there. It's not a plot hole. It's not a plot hole because the only way that would be a plot hole is if Len claims, and she's been proving time and time again, that she knows everything, but then again she doesn't know everything because she got zapped by a simple electricity pole thingy. But yeah, other than that, Black Lightning, it was pretty good. Lala, we was able to see him. Yeah, we was definitely able to see him. He's serious. His demeanor is the same as before Crisis. His objective is the same before Crisis. I like Lala, or Octavius, or whatever his name is, but we're gonna call him Lala. What else did I miss? Geoforce. Brandon or Brent. No, it's Brandon. Um, Now I don't know where the name Geoforce came from, and I know a lot of people may end up coming at me for this because I'm not really with the program when it comes to DC. Now if it was Marvel maybe, but I definitely did heard of the word of the name Geoforce. I'm not gonna be that ignorant to where I wouldn't know the name of it. I know exactly what or who Geoforce is. Um, but that's something. Being that they're part of they're all in the same Earth as Supergirl and the Flash and Arrow. I'm trying to touch on something else. My thought is escaping me because I'm still trying to talk on Black Lightning. Uh, what else? Oh yeah, the fact they was trying to persecute Odell. And Odell I can even tell from the look on his face that he was very nervous. Gammy, Odell, you must have taught Gammy well because he was about to put some needle. He was about to. Oh man! Now, what if they would have done that? That would have. And I was leaning. I was on the edge of my seat. I'm like, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. I really was because. Not to be violent or anything, but at the same time, it's completely satisfying because of all the things that Odell has been doing, all the things that Odell been authorizing. This man has been so manipulative; it's not even funny. The fact that Jennifer, the fact that he was that manipulative to where he made Jennifer do some things that she didn't even want to do, or some things that she wasn't even proud of, and she came clean to her father at the very end. And you know something else too? I like Jefferson's behavior overall. Like he's not too aggressive or he's not season 2-ish. If you rewatch season 2 and if you just pay attention to Jefferson's not Black Lightning's but Jefferson's demeanor, his behavior overall. And then if you watch now, like from probably like maybe before Crisis or after, you can see that his behavior changed. Maybe it's just me, but I can see that it definitely changed because he's calm. He's not ready to like so. You could definitely see that. I don't know if it's like character development. I don't know if it's some sort of growth. But yeah, I don't know if it's some sort of character development or whatever the case be. But I'm starting to like this new Jeff that we're getting. Perhaps the reason why we are getting this new Jeff, or maybe it's not the new Jeff, but to me it's probably the new Jeff. But to me it's the new Jeff, and the reason why I think that's so is because of Crisis, because when he came back, he was like a different, calm person. And I apologize if you saw that. I really have nothing to be sorry for because I'm not the one that caused it. It's just that while I was recording, and this is today. Today is the 30th. The previous cut that you saw, I recorded that on the 29th. So the reason why I cut it is, long story short, my mother came out of nowhere, and I don't want things to be awkward. I don't want her to get into my business and be like, "Oh, what you recording? Oh, what you recording? I want to be in it." Like, no, stay in your lane. But yeah. And let's talk about the fact that a lot of people thought that things was going to change. People really thought that things. Well, they were not completely wrong. Things did change for the better. But in Jefferson's case, things changed for the worse. In fact, things didn't even change at all. Everything is still the same. And this attitude is getting worse. And I'm pretty sure I stated this like towards like the middle of the video, like about at least 10 minutes of the video. And this is getting worse. Jen, at the very least, I'll give Jen credit for having some decency of going straight to her father and letting in on what she did. And the reason why I like this type of Jefferson is because he could have reacted the way he probably would have reacted in season 1. Although he did got overly protective, because when he found out that Jennifer could have or possibly potentially killed somebody, Jefferson had it up to here. And all I'm gonna say is, wow, what an episode! Last week's episode, Lynn was very. She's not my favorite. She was. I'm not trying to be biased, and I'm not trying to go as far as saying that Lynn was one of my favorite characters, because she wasn't. She never was. And I never even tell you guys who is actually my favorite character in Black Lightning. Jefferson, just because he's the main character of the storyline, and just because he's Black Lightning and he symbolizes peace and Freeland, doesn't make him the best character, doesn't make him my favorite character. Because because every character, whether they are so goddamn good or whether they are so goddamn bad, they're always going to carry some sort of flaws. There's no such thing as a character to where you actually like them to the point where you can't even think not one bad thing about them. There's always going to be that character. In fact, even though in the Flash, even though Barry Allen is one of my favorite characters in the Flash, he still have flaws. He still have things that he would need to work on. I won't get into that because this is not the Flash discussion. In fact, the Flash is not going to come on until next week. So, in conclusion of that, I never really liked Lynn as my favorite character. She wasn't even my favorite character. She's not even up there of my favorite character. In fact, in Black Lightning, I don't really have a favorite character. Maybe it's just me. I know everybody probably has their own favorite character, whether they actually so consistent of watching the show, or maybe it's just them. They just happen to have a favorite character. I, in particular, I don't really have a favorite character. I have a character that I like, but I couldn't go as far as say, oh, that character is my favorite. No, I'll tell you who the characters that I like. I do like Jefferson. I actually like the idea that he once was a school principal. You see, I thought that after Crisis, honestly, I even thought so myself. I thought that after Crisis, that Jefferson will go back to normal and being a principal, or perhaps maybe he is, but that's something that we don't see just yet because we still are in this Markovian war. But maybe, just maybe, being that the Crisis and Oliver manipulated the universe and combined everybody in one Earth, perhaps there will be a chance, and there possibly will be a way to where Jefferson is once again he's once again a school principal. That would be interesting. But then again, that would just defeat the purpose, and I think a lot of people will call that a plot hole because at one point he even disagreed. Everybody wanted him to be the principal at one point in season 2, but now in season 2 he was also like, no, they're right or he's right. I'm not fit to be a principal. I'll just be a teacher or assistant principal, whatever the case may be. So it kind of would be weird, but at the same time, not so much. And the thing is, Oliver doesn't know Jefferson. Oliver never even met Jefferson before. So as far as changing it for him, now Oliver knew Barry, Oliver knew John Diggle, so they was able to change something. I don't know what's going to change in the Flash. We're going to have to see later on. I don't even watch Supergirl, but I know a lot of things change in Supergirl. Lex Luthor is a president now, and everybody sees him as a good guy, but whoever has the memories of Crisis sees him as a bad guy, such as Martian Manhunter, Supergirl, everybody else that happened to be in that big Time Raider or something, and the fourth part of a Crisis, or the third part of Crisis, excuse me. But yeah. But other than that, a lot happened. A lot of stuff still happening. I know a lot of people, and including myself, I'll even go as far as admitting that I was quite disappointed when we didn't see the Reverse Flash at all in Crisis. And this is one of the Crisis to where he would show up. But perhaps there's going to be another Crisis. And this time, this Crisis in particular is going to be for like the Flash. It's not going to just be for everybody. It's just going to be mainly, it's going to touch on the Flash. I mean, this Crisis did particularly touch on the Flash because the Flash was supposedly going to sacrifice himself. And technically, the Flash did sacrifice himself. But it wasn't the sacrifice that we saw coming. It wasn't the sacrifice that we saw coming. This whole time, ever since season 6 even hit in the air, it was always about Barry sacrificing himself. But it turns out to be that in the second part of the crossover, if I'm not mistaken, Yeah, it was the second part of the crossover where it turns out that it was the Barry from Earth 90 that ended up sacrificing himself. And I could see that I was okay with it because consider that Barry from that different Earth had nothing else to lose at that point. Like he doesn't have a family; it's just him. I don't think I. You guys could probably, whoever watched the 90s Flash or whoever watched the Flash back in the day could possibly correct me or tell me the plot of it. Didn't Barry at one point had a wife or at least a girlfriend for that matter or a fiance maybe? Because who was that girl? Was that supposed to be Iris West? Or perhaps that was supposed to be who? Linda Parks or maybe, just maybe, who was that chick? What's the name of that chick in season 2? Doesn't matter. It could be anybody, but yeah, because we all love Barry and we all love him seeing him as the Flash. But I know everybody's feelings was thrown off a little bit simply because it wasn't him that died. It was Earth 90, and I was not triggered. I wasn't even I can't even go as far as saying that I was disappointed because I wasn't really disappointed at all. And I wasn't even confused because I get it. The Flash must die. At the end, you can't really blame CW or you can't blame the writers because technically speaking, they never specify which Flash must die. They didn't say that. They didn't say, oh, Barry from Earth 1, the Flash must die. They didn't even say that. They say the Flash. So, and come to think of it, a lot could have happened if the Flash didn't die, whether it was Barry, Earth 1's Flash, or whether it was Earth 90's Flash. Gotta thinking about it. And I'm in third part. I thought something was in my nose. I felt itching. But anyways, it actually makes sense because the fact of the matter is, and last year's course, I can't even say last year because 2018's.
Who's texting me?
Who's texting me? Okay, because last year's... Let me turn this off. Last year's crossover in 2018 was Elseworld. And I don't know if anybody remembers that scene where the Flash was going to stop the Monitor, but the Monitor used that warp power of his and just transferred him. And I think that ever since then, he's just been running on that cosmic treadmill. I mean, it's quite evident. I'm not guessing. That's exactly what happened. And the fact of the matter is, that person, the Flash, even described what happened. So that actually answers our question. It wasn't no plot hole. It wasn't no hole that they just hope that we forget. No, they actually covered that. They know exactly what they was doing. So yeah. So that was about it with the crossover. The crossover was very, like I said before, I was disappointed, but at the same time, I'm not now. I was, but I'm not now, because the Reverse Flash because even in Elseworld, the Reverse Flash was said, see the next crisis. The next crisis or Infinite Earth. We would expect to see the Reverse Flash, but we didn't. We just didn't see the Reverse Flash at all. So that was that. And you know something else too? If we do get another crossover, which is highly likely now that almost everybody is in that one Earth except for the Teen Titans, but that's something else. That's a different Earth and that's a different show, a different scenario. But if they do a crisis either this year, 2020, like towards December, or maybe they'll probably do a year without the crossover. They could do so much. They have so much potential. The question is, what are they going to do with it? They on the right track when they gave John the ring. They did the right track when they introduced LandCorp. They did the right track of introducing and opening up a bunch of worlds and a bunch of opportunities for us to watch. Clark and Lois, Superman, the TV show they're doing, I believe. I forgot the name of it. It could be Clark and Lois Adventure or whatever the case may be. It's about Superman. And there's this hit, and there was a bunch of hits, and I can't hints, and I don't want to go as far as saying Easter eggs, but I watched the last episode of Arrow, and Dinah, she was like, I'm heading off to Metropolis, because for her, being that the city has been safer, the city is now safe. it makes no sense for her to be head of the police department. So she's heading over to Metropolis. And guess who lives in Metropolis? Superman lives in Metropolis. Clark Kent and Lois Lane. So that opens up so many. So if that show happens to be a hit, we are only expecting to see Lois. I mean, Dinah, and yeah. So yeah, they're doing such a good job. Everybody, I know everybody. Some people tends to throw shade and hate the CW because they fail to look up, or they fail to live up to their expectations, or because because the CW didn't cover or answer my questions, so I hate them for that. Oh, it's always the characters in particular, and it's therefore all CW show fault. I mean, if you want to blame someone, don't blame the actors or the actress for playing their role. It's not their fault. They're not the one who wrote how that character's gonna act. Blame the writers. They're the ones that given them the script to write out and act out based on what's on the script. Come on, think now. Don't lose yourself in the process of you thinking such a stupidity, thinking that it's the actor's fault or the actress' fault. It's not. It's neither of them. The only thing you could blame the actors or the actress for is doing a well job playing their role superbly. So, did I touch on the last episode of Arrow? Yeah, I did actually, because I was talking about how John got the ring and everything. Thea and Roy, they're getting married, but we most likely won't see that. But it's good to have them. It's good to know that they are getting married. And for 2040, things would have changed now, because in the beginning of season 8, or perhaps the beginning of season 7, flash forward, Roy was in Lian Yu, or Purgatory, or whatever you want to call it. But guess what? Being that he changed the future in a way. He changed the future in a way because not only did he go back to Thea, not only did he redeem himself, not only did he even went as far as helping John, because John was like, no, because William told me that you came back, or William told me that you ended up in Lian Yu, so maybe there's a way for we can change that. So John put himself out there and helped them do that. And then unfortunately he lost his arm, which is okay. He got a mechanic arm, which looks really cool now, but it's not as bad. It's not as good as the Winter Soldier's arm. Let's not get things twisted. The Winter Soldier's arms will always be better than Roy Harper's. I'm sorry, Roy. I like you, man, but it's CW and it's a TV show. It's a TV show at the end of the day. So I can't really go as far as comparing something from a movie from a TV show. Movies are gonna always look better and do things better than a TV show. So I can't. That's not even worth comparing. So on second thought, let me take that back. What else I was gonna say? We was able to see every single person in Arrow for one last time. I know that in the 8th season, the last season of Arrow, they was gonna bring back a bunch of OGs, but the fact that they bring so many people, a lot of people. I thought in season 7, I thought Emily, the person who plays Felicity, was not gonna show up anymore, but no, she showed up for that one scene in Arrow season 8 episode 10. And I'm glad that they brought everybody back for that one last time, and everybody was in that frame. You probably can't see everybody, but everybody was there when Diggle was giving the speech in Oliver's funeral. Oliver pretty much was able to change. So we have a alternate reality now, or perhaps it isn't an alternate reality. Because in one part of the reality, Oliver's mother, Mora, I can't even pronounce the name, slipping out of my mind, but she died from Slade. But then in another reality, Oliver was able to break through the tied up ropes that was behind him. He was able to beat up Slade, perhaps maybe killed Slade or knocked him out. It looked like he knocked him out. Bam. And you know something else? I had to do thorough research before I even began my recording. I had to do thorough research. And it looks like, no wonder why the scene in particular, no wonder why Olive doesn't really look old. he looks like the same person. He looks very different, and the reason being is that was a deleted scene from season 2. That was a deleted scene. That was supposed to happen, but that was a deleted scene. So that was that. No wonder why they look so different. And but at the same time, it's the same person. So, or maybe they redid it, or maybe I don't know. But my research, according to that, it's a deleted scene. So, but it's so good to see everybody. Good to see Oliver's mom. It's good to see Emiko. Emiko, she's back. She's back. So, unfortunately, the question is, I think her path changed because the thing is, I think because Lance, Quentin, he was saying to Earth 2 Laurel that that Oliver resurrected, or Oliver brought back those who changed him for the better, and Quentin did change him for the better. And I don't know about Emiko, but the fact of the matter is, she's back. And I could, you know something too, I completely forgot all about her. I forgot all about her in season 7. Forgot all about that. Wow. I really did. Well, let's just see if things change for her, and I really do hope that it did. Like I said in the video, the last episode of Arrow gives a hopeful ending because, yeah, I don't even need to explain why. I'm just at this point repeating myself. Too bad though. I probably will have to rewatch that scene, or probably take a screenshot from somewhere or someone. But too bad, out of all the people that was brought back, we didn't see Shadow back in season 1. If you know who I'm talking about. Maybe they did, but I didn't see them. Maybe they didn't, but maybe they was going to, but the person who plays Shadow wasn't able to come, so they just forget it. But Slade and Oliver has such a bromance, not similar to John and Oliver, but Slade. Maybe there's a reality. Maybe Oliver did bring him back, and perhaps it would be good if he did. That way he can reunite with his 2 sons that he has, and they both don't hate each other, or they both don't hate the father in particular. That would be good. That would be wow. That would be a nice moment right there, where while John was giving a speech, Oliver's speech, we will be able to just see like a 5-second or maybe a 10-second frame of Slade with his 2 sons, maybe doing something such as practicing with the sticks or whatever. I'm just imagining at this point. But long story short, it would have been nice if that was part of the scene. Who else wasn't there? I can't really think of anyone else. Tommy is back. What are the odds of that? Tommy is back. My dude Tommy, man. And you know something else? It's unfortunate. It was quite a shame that he died in season 1. But 8 years later, he got brought back. Look at that. Who else? We was able to see the 2 sisters, Rajal Ghul's wife, and Talia and Nissa. Is it Nissa? Is it Nissa? Most likely I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm saying it wrong. Perhaps it could be a different name, but I do know for a fact that it's that you know who I'm talking about too. Thea's going to marry Roy, so long as Roy doesn't pull that fast one to where he leaves and not even saying anything. Like what the heck? But other than that, I'm glad that that's ice on the bridge. If I even use that figure of speech correctly. Who else? We got Sarah back. Not Sarah Lance, but John's original daughter. And I know everybody's been asking this question. What happened to Connor? Because that young man is not Connor. That's what's his name? That's not Connor. That's John's biological son. That's, what's his name? JJ. JJ. There we go. JJ. So we got Sarah and JJ. Maybe perhaps later on John adopted Connor, but then that defeats the purpose now, because I can see why. I can see back then he would adopt Connor because JJ would have been the only person, the only son. But you got a daughter and a son, so why adopt Connor? Perhaps Connor is still part of this world, perhaps somewhere else, but just not adopted by John Diggle. So I wonder who Sarah's gonna grow up to be. We didn't get to see Zoe. We didn't get to see Zoe in this episode, but we was able to see Felicity's daughter Mia. We was able to see her. We was able to see younger William one last time. We didn't really get to see older William, but that's okay too. Or perhaps we did. I just don't remember. But I'm gonna really miss Arrow. I've been talking for an hour almost. If not, has already been an hour. Once I add it up, I can determine that while I'm editing if it's going to be an hour or not. But I really am going to miss Arrow. Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, Season 5, Season 6, Season 7, Season 8. They've been doing this for 8 years, guys. 8 years. And it's been such a journey, me even watching. And I don't regret myself sitting on my comfortable, lavish chair on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Tuesday, on a Monday, because it would change the days of whenever the show airs. But I wouldn't care. And if I happen to miss it, guess what? I will always go on my cable box and I would just go on demand and just rewatch whatever show or episode I miss. Arrow has always been that one of those few shows where whenever I come back home from school, I will always look forward to watching that show, and now it's just gone. It's not gone. You know why it's not gone? Because you can always go on any media or anywhere and you can just rewatch the show. From season 1 all the way to season 8, to the very last episode. You have Netflix, so long as they don't remove that. You have Hulu Plus. You have the CW app, and CW app unfortunately won't have the entire series on there, but they will have the latest episode. They are up to date with it, and you right as we speak right now, you can even go as far as going on the CW. The Arrow will always be on there too, or maybe they will go as far as uploading the whole entire. Who knows? But you do have that as a secondary resource when it comes to watching Arrow, and I'm actually going to miss it. Now, the only thing that I look forward to is watching DC Legends of Tomorrow, which I really got to catch up to that, and I have to watch The Flash. In The Flash, I feel like it's going to be much more interesting than Legends of Tomorrow. And you know something else? It's like a staircase. The Flash is going to be more interesting than Legends. The Legends is going to be much more interesting than Supergirl. And Supergirl is going to be much more interesting than Batwoman. It's like a staircase. And I pretty much just ranked it. Out of all the shows that I just listed, The Flash is up there. Right next to Legends. Right next to Supergirl. Right next to Batwoman. And I never watched not one episode of Batwoman. I just not gonna watch it. Don't ask why. I'm just not. I don't find it to be interesting to the point where I need to spare my hour, my 60 minutes of watching it. So I'm just not. But Supergirl, I most likely will take a crack at it, being that the crisis is everywhere, and we can have like. I'll probably end up just watching it just because of the crossover. I'll probably end up watching it because Barry's in that scene, or Barry's going to be in that episode of Supergirl. Or maybe John is going to be in that episode of Supergirl. What role is he going to play? You know? So, yeah. But anyways, I've been talking for so long, and I'm finally was able to wrap up this video because I got rudely interrupted yesterday. And so, yeah. There's nothing really for me to touch on now, is there? I talked about Black Lightning. I talked about The Flash. I talked about Green Arrow. I talked about the Crisis. I talked about my thoughts and feelings and speculations. I talked about everything. And being that I've been absent from my channel for such a long time, this is going to be like one of those long discussion videos. So if you really are bored, or if you really want to hear what I have to say, then this will be it. But anyways, I'm going to be out of here because I have things to do. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I'll be more active on my channel. But till then, it's been a blast, Arrow. Even though I wasn't able to make as much reactions as much as I wanted to, but I am glad that despite me not making any reactions to the show, that I was able to go as far as watching it alone, and then I would make my discussions. And I am going to miss myself making those discussions, even though I'm not on every episode of me making a discussion. But here I am now making this one last discussion about Arrow. And you know something, it may not even be my last video that I do about Arrow, because guess what, Christ is gonna happen. Maybe again another crossover is gonna happen, The Flash, and any CW show I could always go back and piggyback based on Arrow. So it's not going to be the last time that I talk about it, but it's going to be the last time in general that I'm going to have a discuss about Arrow in that particular episode. So yeah, but anyways, I do thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.